So we're doing our briefings one at a time. And everybody, they have the Iraq military guy and the Iraq political guy and the Iraq oil guy. And then I'm there because I'm doing ops. And he's like, you believe this guy? He thinks he's better than I am. George was a very difficult guy to get along with.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of tell a funny story. Maybe it's funny in retrospect. It wasn't funny when it was happening. But, when he became the director, that was a glorious day for every Greek American in the CIA. We had a little club. We would meet once a month for lunch so that the senior people could help the junior people. And, Gust Avrakatis, who was played by Philip Seymour Hoffman in Charlie Wilson's work, Gust was my mentor. And, we traveled together doing operations and all kinds of stuff. So George becomes the CIA director, and it's like, oh my God, this is a great day for Greek America. And so, I'd bump into him at church every once in a while. His parents, was it his parents or his in-laws? His in-laws, they never missed a Sunday. And then as I got more and more senior at the CIA, I would be closer to him. Mm. Well, when I was still on the analytics side, he stopped me in the hall one day and he said, hey, where are your people from? And I said, they're from Rhodes. All 4 of my grandparents emigrated from Rhodes. And he says, an islander. You think you're better than I am. Because his people came from Epirus, which is along the border with Albania. Mm-hmm. Mountains. And I said, no, I don't think I'm better than you. And he said, yeah, you do. All the islanders, they think they're better than the mainlanders. And we're like, ha, ha, ha. We had a chuckle. And he walked his way and I walked my way. There was a Sunday that Saddam did something. I don't remember what it was. And I got a call. You got to come in and brief the director. I said, okay. I put on my best suit. I go up to the director's office. It's George and John McLaughlin, the deputy director, the national intelligence officer for the Near East, Ben Bonk, who was a great friend of mine, and General, I don't know what his first name was. They called him Soup because he was General Campbell. So Campbell Soup. It was everybody just called him Soup. I called him General Campbell. So I do the briefing, very straightforward. And George did something during the briefing that offended me, but I didn't let on. So I'm wearing my best suit. McLaughlin was the best dressed man at the CIA. So he had this fabulous suit. Ben Bonk didn't have any kids, so he had the money for, a $200 tie and the best suit. And General Campbell's got his 3 shiny stars and he's in his uniform. George is wearing a pair of jeans that are torn at the knee. He's got a lumberjack shirt on.
Cigar?
Always.
Yeah.
Never lit.
Always chewing on it.
Always chewing on it. It was disgusting. And he's wearing these Timberland boots. And he took the boots off. And he took his socks off. And he picked his toenails while I'm giving the briefing. And later on, Ben Bonk said to me, that was so fucking disrespectful. I can't believe he would do that. I said, he did that on purpose because it was me. But anyway, I finished the briefing. And I said, Mr. Director, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. And he says to the general, he thinks he's better than I am. His people are from an island.
Oh, my God.
Mine are from the mountains. And all the islanders think they're better than the mainlanders, which is actually true. We do. But I mean, they do. I don't care where he's from. Besides, we're both born in the United States. So what do I care?
Yeah.
So I said, sir, I don't think I'm better than you. I don't know why you say this. And afterwards, Ben Bonk and I get in the elevator. There's a dedicated, the director's elevator that goes all the way down. And he's like, what the fuck was all that about? And I said, Ben, he does this to me all the time. I don't really understand it. And he's like, the thing with the picking his toenails, that was so disrespectful. And I said, he did that on purpose because it was me. And we have some beef. I have no idea what the origin of it is. But I think he genuinely doesn't like me. And it's only because my people come from an island. So we move on from that. And then I was in a meeting once. Oh my God. It was like John McLaughlin, all of the 6 deputy directors, Steve Hadley, who was the national security advisor. I think Colin Powell was there. And
It's like a fantasy football draft of people.
and they're all in the director's conference rooms. This is a big deal, right? So we're doing our briefings one at a time. And everybody, they have the Iraq military guy and the Iraq political guy and the Iraq oil guy. And then I'm there because I'm doing ops. And he's like, you believe this guy? He thinks he's better than I am.
Again.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I just sat there and took it. And afterwards, the deputy director says to me, what's the beef with you two?
I have no fucking idea.
I don't know. I don't understand why he does this. Unless he really is. See, in his book, he did say that he had that, what's it called? Like fraud syndrome or whatever it is where.
What's the term? Imposter
syndrome. Yeah. He has that imposter syndrome. He grew up above a grocery store.
Yeah.
Right? And all of a sudden, the guy's the longest serving CIA director in American history.
Yeah.
And this was probably a self-esteem thing on his part.
Yeah, I think so.
Him not knowing that my mom and dad were elementary school teachers, right? And I probably have the same imposter syndrome that he does. Because who am I? I'm nobody. And he just decides he's going to come after me. Now, there were other Greek Americans that he thought
didn't come after them.
No, he promoted. There was one that he just promoted all the way into the senior service. And I remember saying, Andy's great, but SIS 2? Like, seriously? What's that all about?
Was it you? Didn't he meet your parents at one point?
Yeah, at the Greek festival at St. George Church in Bethesda, Maryland.
Now, when was this?
He had just been named deputy director.
Okay, so he met them and he's still... Okay, tell the story, please.
I was standing in line with my brother at the Greek festival. Greeks have this little dessert or treat called loukoumades. It's just fried dough, and they pour honey and cinnamon on it. I'm in the loukoumades line. I didn't notice that he was standing right in front of me. And I said to my brother, you know what? The best loukoumades I ever had in my life were on the island of Chios, my first honeymoon. And he turns around, and he says, the best loukoumades I ever had were at the island of Chios. And I said, Mr. Tenet, I'm John Kiriakou. I'm one of your analysts. And we met. And I said, this is my mom and dad. This is George Tenet. And then I took them to Family Day. We have a picture.
Yeah.
Family Day, 2000?
He's director now.
2. Yeah, he's director.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was like, oh my God, there's George Tenet. I want to meet George Tenet. And I said, no.
No,
said, Mom,
fuck you don't.
No, don't do that. And she's like, no, I want to meet him.
He's a mountaineer.
And his wife was there, and she had just published this cookbook that CIA women had published, and she's selling the cookbook.
There's a CIA women's cookbook?
Yeah.
I need to see that shit.
I will say he did one solid for me. When I was stationed in Athens, I recruited a guy who was a bona fide terrorist, right? But we had this Clinton-era prohibition on recruiting people who had committed murder in a terrorist act.
Was this a Palestinian or a 17N guy?
A Palestinian.
Okay.
And so the Europe division, they're like, sorry, you can't formalize the relationship. Well, this guy's willing to give us, 17N, information on 17N. Revolutionary Organization 17 November.
Which is a leftist organization in Greece. Yeah.
Right. So they just won't do it. So I flew home for the CIA Christmas party. And every year at the Christmas party, the director stands in the lobby of the old building, where the famous seal is on the floor and the wall of honor with the stars and all that stuff. It's a very, emotion-provoking set. So I went up and I said, Merry Christmas, Mr. Director. And he said, how are things in Athens? I said, actually, that's what I came to talk to you about.
That Merry Christmas was bullshit.
It was. I don't give a shit what his Christmas is like.
Happy Hanukkah, too.
So I told him, I said, the division won't let me recruit a guy, and this guy's the real deal. And I mean, 24 hours later, I had permission to recruit him.
Wow. Mm-hmm. He did, going back, though, if I remember correctly, like, he actually did meet your parents or something. Didn't he, like, give him something or, like, say...
Yeah, he gave my mom a piggy bank with the CIA seal on it.
And he said it was basically like a Greek stick together kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But still, after that,
yeah,
he's still like, this guy thinks he's better than me.
Yeah, dumping on me about being from Rhodes.
So psychologically speaking, hearing all this, it sounds, you'd never think something's textbook talking about a guy who's like a spy, but it sounds pretty textbook where it's like that's how he gets out his insecurity, but he secretly likes you. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.